Good morning, students. As you all know that the neural control and coordination, that is in the human physiology, previous to the chemical coordination and integration chapter, that is the neural control and coordination. So this lesson actually, in this lesson some part of the lesson was being deleted. The remaining part was taught in your same through the online only, with the YouTube recorded classes only. You have learnt it that the neural control and coordination, which we have already discussed, is the introduction part. Then after that, the neural system, the human neural system, and the human neural system, which is consisting of functional and the structural unit of the neural system, that is called the neuron. So you have come across with the structure of the neuron, then how that neuron is going to help in the conduction and the generation of the nerve impulse, that also you have studied. After that, how a neuron, once it receives any impulse signal, so how that neuron is going to transmit the signal, or how it is going to move across the length of the neuron, that you have studied. Okay, so once the impulse moves at the length of the axon, how that impulse is being transmitted from one neuron to another neuron, that you have studied under the topic, that is transmission of impulses. After the transmission of the impulses, we have come across with the central neural system, where the central nervous system, it is mainly consisting of the brain. So you have studied the structure of the brain, where the brain is being divided into three major parts, that is forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. So these all you have studied in the previous recorded classes. So after that, after the central neural system, or after the central nervous system, the next topic is the reflex action and the reflex arc. So what is this reflex action or reflex arc? So I want to give an example for the reflex action. That is, when your skin get pricked by something means any thorn, pin, or suddenly you are going to take back that hand. Okay, and one more example you can take, that is when you touch any of the hot objects or the hot vessels. Okay, so these are the examples for the reflex action. Okay, when these that I said that when you come across with any hot object, suddenly, quickly, within a fraction of a time, you are going to take back your hand. So here you have to remember that which is going to make your hand to come back, or where your hand is going to get pricked by something. So that something is called as the stimulus. So what is a stimulus? Stimulus is some kind of the change over a environment of a body. What is this stimulus? Means, now I gave the example that when you touch a hot object, so here you are going to take back that hand. But why did you take your hand back? Because of the hot object. So here that hot object is considered as the stimulus. So here how do we define the stimulus? Stimulus is some kind of change over an environment of a body. Means, due to that a hot object, there will be a change with respect to a environment of the body. Means, when you touch any hot object with your hand, so that is going to make the temperature of that environment of the body is going to get changed. Okay, so here we can call this reflex action as it is involuntary. Why involuntary? Because you without thinking for, you will not think that when you touch any hot object you have to take back that, to think that much time will not be there. Suddenly you are going to take back that hand, means here you are not going to wait for any of the commandings. Okay, so that's why we define it as it is the rapid means it is very quick, involuntary response. Okay, involuntary response, and it is unconscious. Unconscious means you will not be knowing, your actions will be like that. When you touch any hot object, you may even take back your hand, or if you lift any vessel unknowingly that it was a hot, suddenly you may leave your hand and that water may fall down. Okay, so that is, that action will be unconscious. So the rapid, involuntary, unconscious actions which are observed in your body, that is due to a stimulus. Is it clear? Then you may get confused, that is the beating of the heart, respiration, these are also involuntary process. Then can we call these as reflex action? Don't consider like the beating of the heart, the pumping of the heart, or your breathing, they are 100%, they are involuntary processes, but they are not considered to be as an reflex action, because that working of your heart, working of your lungs, that is not due to any of the stimulus. Is it clear to you? So here what I gave the example, that is the when you touch an hot object, so that hot object is going to act as the stimulus. That's why we define the reflex action as a involuntary, rapid, unconscious action of body with respect to a stimulus. Okay, so here this reflex action, we are we have two types of, or we divide the reflex action with respect to two types. Okay, so what is that I will tell, but previous to it I gave, that is the example with respect to the that is sudden withdrawal of the hand when it touches a hot object. That is, when you touch any hot object you are going to take back your hand. And then one more thing you might have observed in children also, when you keep that is the almost 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6 months babies I'm talking. So those babies, when you keep the finger inside, when the just finger, when it comes with respect to their lips, they start sucking. Okay, then even you are closing of the eyelids. Then the knee-jerk phenomenon. Knee-jerk phenomenon means when the heart when any beat is given to your the knees, suddenly we are going to take back the leg back. Okay, so these are the examples for reflex action. I said there are two types of the reflex actions. So what are those two types of the reflex action? So they are, the first type is, it is called inborn or unconditional, or we can call it as even as inherited. That is the types of reflex actions, two types. In that, the first one is inborn or inherited or unconditional reflex action. The second one is conditional or required. So what is this inborn? I will give the example, then you will be clear with respect to the inborn reflex action. So what are those examples? Soon after the mother give birth to a baby, that baby starts crying. So here nobody is going to make that baby to cry. That is the reflex action which is coming from the birth itself. That is the best example for inborn reflex action. And one more is, see, once the baby is born and mother starts feeding that baby, so here the baby, how will it learn, or how that baby will come to know about the sucking of the breast milk. So here you can take the sucking of the breast milk, and one more I get, that is the crying of the baby soon after the birth. So these two you can take the example for the inborn or unconditional or inherited reflex action. And one more type I said, that is conditional or acquired. So here conditional or acquired, one more you can take that example. Here it is mentioned, when a child sees or smells a food which is unknown to them, so they may not secrete the saliva, but if he comes to know, but he sees or smells that food every time before tasting it, he salivates. Me one more example I will give, that is the learning the riding of the bicycle, or learning the swimming. These you can take the example for a conditional or the acquired. One more best example I will give. You might have heard about this. Actually it come with the psychology also it comes. So here in the conditional reflex action, I want to give an example about the Pavlov experiment. What is this Pavlov experiment? Pavlov experiment is also called as bell and dog experiment. So here what that a person in the home who has a dog in their home, so that dog at every day at 10 o'clock he started giving the food to dog. Okay, whenever he was giving the food to dog, even he used to bell the ring. Okay, so one day, first day, second day, third day, this was the routine was being done with respect to the bell and the dog. Whenever the dog was being fed with the food, they used to ring the bell. Okay, so when the food was given, that dog used to eat it by secreting the saliva. But one previous day, what that person did, he did not give the food to the dog, but he started ringing the bell. So when the dog heard the ringing of the bell, that dog started secreting the saliva. Okay, so this is also the example for conditional. Is it clear? Then so here now you have got the meaning of or the definition of the reflex action. So now we shall study how this reflex action is going to work. Okay, so here for the reflex action there are three things are being involved. What are those three things? One is the stimulus, second one is the arms, and the third one is the spinal cord. So here these are the three things which are being involved in the reflex action. So I said the stimulus, arm, and the spinal cord. So here there are two examples in your textbook. They have given with respect to the leg. So you can take that below the diagram, that image where a person is going to touch the hot object with his hand. So there the hot object is going to act as the stimulus. Hand, it is the arm. Biceps are present. Which muscles are present in the biceps? That is the skeletal muscles. And then the spinal cord. So when an arm touches the hot object, the finger of the arm's fingers temperature is going to get increased. When the temperature of the finger is going to get increased, that is being detected by a neuron which are present in the arm. Okay, so this neuron, the neuron which is present in the arm, so that neuron is going to convert the heat into electrical signal. So that electrical signal is sent to the spinal cord. So here this is actually the movement of the stimulus from the arm to the spinal cord. So here I will repeat, that is when a finger of the arm comes across with the hot object, the temperature of the finger is going to get increased. When the temperature of the finger is going to get increased, so that heat is being converted as the electrical signals. So how this heat is being converted to the electrical signal? By the neurons which are present in the arm. So these electrical signals are then now sent to the spinal cord. So remember, the neurons which are detecting the stimulus from your the arms, from your legs, and sending it to the spinal cord, they are the largest and the longest cells in our body. Once that neurons reaches the spinal cord, so there what happens, that it will be that neuron will be giving, or now that neuron will be transferring the signal to the another neuron, where that another neuron is present inside the spinal cord. Okay, then this another neuron is going to send a signal now to the brain. See, I am using the first neuron which was present in your arm, that is going to send the heat, converting it as an electrical signal. So that electrical signal is being passed on to the spinal cord neuron. So that spinal cord neuron, you can consider it as the another neuron, or it is as a second neuron. So this neuron now, the neuron which is present inside the spinal cord is going to send it to the brain. But once it send it to the brain, it is not going to wait for the commandings of the brain. Its duty is the second neuron's duty, that is the neuron which are present in the spinal cord. Their duty is to send the signal to the brain, but they are not going to wait for the commandings of the brain. Immediately the signal from the neurons which are present inside the spinal cord are being sent to the third neuron. So this third neuron is going to send the signal from, it is going to carry the signal from the spinal cord to the biceps skeletal muscle, and makes the skeletal muscles to get contracted. When the skeletal muscle get contracted, the hand is being pulled back. So this is actually the normal working of the reflex action, but scientifically, and now I will tell. So here, when a person comes across with the hot object, obviously the temperature of the finger is going to get increased. So when the temperature of the finger is being increased, so that is being detected by the neuron which are present in the biceps of the arm. So that neuron is called as a sensory neuron. Okay, so this sensory neuron are going to carry the impulse from the arm to the spinal cord. So once the neuron here, the sensory neurons, they are going to carry the impulse or the signal or the stimulus from the arm to the spinal cord. So before that sensory neuron, when it detects the hot object, immediately that heat is being converted as the electrical signal. So that electrical signal is being carried to the spinal cord. So in the spinal cord, what the neurons are present, so those neurons are called as connector neurons, intermediate neurons, or even they are called as interneuron. So these interneurons, once they receive the electrical signal from the sensory neurons, so that is going to send it to the brain. But interneuron or the intermediate neuron or the connector neuron, they are not going to wait for the commandings of the brain. Why they are not going to remember why they are not going to wait for the commandings of the brain? Because it is very dangerous situation for the survival, so we need the immediate action. That's why in such cases they are not going to wait for the commandings of the brain. Okay, so remember when we study the with respect to the evolution, actually the reflex actions are being evolved first, and after the evolution of the reflex action, the human brain, the complex human brain is being evolved. Okay, so I said that the hot object is being detected by the sensory neurons. They are also called, those sensory neurons are also called as the afferent neurons. Okay, so they are going to carry that impulse to the central nervous system, that is to the brain, through a spinal cord, but they are not going to wait for the commandings of the brain. So here, who are going to send it to the brain? Those neurons are called as interneurons. So as they doesn't wait for the commandings of the brain, so that interneurons are further going to send a signal to the motor neuron or efferent neuron, or they are also called as the effector neuron. So what this motor neuron is going to do, that motor neuron is going to carry now the impulse from the spinal cord to the biceps muscles and makes the muscles of the arms to get contracted. So that contraction of the biceps or the skeletal muscles makes the hand to move back. So this is with respect to the reflex action. So I'm telling you the pathway of the reflex action. So the pathway of carrying the impulse from one part through the another part, that is being called as the reflex arc. Okay, so this is with respect to the reflex action, or with respect to the reflex arc. So the next topic is the sense organs. One more thing you have to remember here, these I said about the sensory neurons, the sensory neuron, motor neuron. Sensory neuron will be carrying the impulses from the sense organ to the central nervous system. Motor neuron will be carrying the impulse from the central nervous system to the effector organ. So here the sensory neurons are considered to be as the longest cell. And one more, the neurons which are present in the spinal cord, they are called as intermediate, connector, or interneuron. Even they are also called as relay neurons. Relay neurons, they are the neurons which are present in the spinal cord. So here the sensory neurons, they are we consider that the sensory neurons to be as the longest in the length. And here these sensory neurons, they always move backside, they always moves backside from the spinal cord, whereas the motor neurons are going to move from front side of the spinal cord. So this is all about the reflex action and the reflex arc. So the next after this the next topic is sensory organs and their processing.